everyone, so we're going to start off with some bad news. My Patreon webcomic is officially cancelled, and I am absolutely gutted about this. To give you the short version of events, as some of you will know, I suffered a recent hard drive crash and sadly I have lost more than I originally thought. And it has recently come to light that a large portion of this was for my webcomic, including stock images, templates both for backgrounds and finished panels, entire panel templates, pretty much the whole thing. I have been working for the last couple of weeks to try and salvage as much as I can from backups, but as the backups only have 4 or 5 more new files, there's not really enough to complete any new pages. And so unfortunately I'm having to cancel my webcomic. It is just not feasible at present time for me to continue it, nor does it feel fair to continue getting donations for something I'm unable to provide. However, as my Patreon does help support me and provides a good boost to my budget for both customs and new videos, it leads me on to some good news, which I will now bring to you in 2 parts. Part 1. This is not the end of the webcomic. I put a lot of work and effort into creating this comic, and even if it takes me another 3 or 4 years, I do intend to finish it, not just for myself, but also to those who have already donated to me thus far. With that in mind, everyone who has donated to my Patreon as of this date, I actually have a screenshot which shows me all of my current patrons, will receive at no extra cost the $10 pledge, which, when completed, gives them a signed PDF collected version of the comic, plus some extra pages and a link to the behind the scenes video of how I made the webcomic. I feel this is the very least I can do for you all. As I said, even if it takes me another 3 to 4 years, I am determined to bring it to you all. Which brings me on to part 2, the future of my Patreon, and probably the reason that most of you clicked on this video. Obviously, without the comic, I do feel the need to offer people some other kind of rewards for donating, and with that in mind, I've decided that my Patreon will now fund something that many of you have wanted me to do for many years. So with that in mind, my new Patreon reshuffle will be in fact my very first figure animation, my own animated version of Mission to the Unknown in classic black and white style. Now for this project, I don't want this to just be a series of still images overplayed with voices and effects. Not only am I hoping that the final product will be a 30-minute stop-motion figure animation using of course figures, model sets and full voice acting, but I also want to try and get the movement of the figures as fluid as possible, so this will certainly be a long ongoing project. And I just want to quickly interject a point here that I'm sure some people are going to say, can I have a role in this as a voice actor? But you've got to bear in mind that as an animation, voice acting is going to be one of the very last things that are going to be done. So for the foreseeable and no doubt distant future of this project, I am not currently looking for any voice actors to take part in this. When I am, you'll all be the first to know. And to make sure this project doesn't befall the same fate as my webcomic, I will in fact be using a 3-tier backup system. Local storage, external storage, and finally, a secure private server. As such, this reduces the risk of losing everything quite dramatically. Now, I just want to give a reassurance to those who don't support my Patreon. The final released film will be available for all to view on my YouTube channel. There is no obligation to support my Patreon in order to see it. But for those who do already support my Patreon, or those who want to help in future and help support and get involved with this project, there are in fact a new set of reward tiers. Firstly, we have the $1 reward tier. This gives you access to basic news and update posts, a thank you for your support credit at the end of all of my future videos, a preview of which you can see at the end of this video, your name in the credits of the finished film, and early access to the standard version of the finished film 2 weeks ahead of its public release on YouTube. Then we have the $5 reward tier. Now this gives you access to everything that the $1 reward tier had, but it also gives you access to revealing news posts featuring behind the scene previews, work in progress updates, and private videos such as live from the workshop videos showing the creation of the figures and sets used in the film, and also some animation tests, as I've never done animation before, so it'd be interesting to see how this pans out. Then we have the $10 reward tier. Again, this gives you access to everything in the $1 and $5 reward tiers, but it also gives you access to another private video, an alternate colour version of the finished film, as the standard version of the film will be done in the classic black and white style. And lastly, we have the $15 reward tier, which, unlike the other reward tiers which are available to everyone, there are only 5 of these available. So this gives you everything in the $1, $5 and $10 reward tiers, but this now gives you not only 1 but 2 alternate versions of the finished film, one being the colour one and another containing additional scenes featuring the First Doctor and his companions. And lastly, it gives you you one of 5 exclusive DVDs with personalised introductions by me to you, featuring all versions of the finished film, plus special features. Now those already supporting my Patreon can keep their donation levels or upgrade or downgrade as they wish, but whether you are an existing patron or a new one, please familiarise yourself with the updated terms and conditions before donating. But that's it pretty much for now, so I would just like to say in closing, I apologise once again for the cancellation of my webcomic, but I hope that you are all looking forward to my first figure animation as much as I am, and I hope you will all continue to support it and my channel in future. So as always, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, favorite, subscribe, share, it really helps me out a lot, and be sure to check out the description below for a link to my Patreon to support my future and first figure animation. I salute you all, and I will see you with another video very soon.